You're going to get 1, the kit in the mail, 2, the tutorial. If you bump your order up to $50, of course, you're going to get your celebration pick as well. And that goes through February 28th. Yes, Marcia, so this is a Bananas Foster adult shake. So that means there's a little extra in it, but it's absolutely delicious. It's like a dessert. So tasty. And again, very apropos for what we're doing today. Also, if you are local to me in Southern California, I invite you to join me on Saturday, January 28th for Just a Craft. It's an afternoon hour. We will be making both of the sliding easels with hidden messages that I'm sharing with you today. So you can come along and join me in person. If you're not local to me, you can always place your order to get the kits in the tutorial as well. All right, so you ready to see today's Fun Fold card? It is super fun. It is a Valentines or Galentines birthday card. So it is created with one of the Valentines Valentine set that's in the mini catalog. And I say that because this stamp set is actually useful for any time of the year. So there it is without. So it's hearts. It does have a Valentine's Day sentiment, but it also has another sentiment that I love. So just wanted to say, I love that we are friends. That means it's a great stamp set for Galentine's Day or any time of the year. Hearts are good all year round, right? And there's a pretty floral heart that we're not even using today. And I'm going to be using the coordinating punch to that stamp set, which is super fun. I'm going to flip it over so you can see. It'll cut the heart, the leaves, and then the smaller heart as well. And oh, thank you, Marcia, for letting me know the punch isn't available. I had a sneaky feeling that was so, and I was going to hop on and check just before I logged in and I got sidetracked. So thank you for letting me know that. There was another thing I was going to check, and I'll tell you what that was as I move along through the projects today. So sad that that punch is not available. I'm wondering if it's going to be available before you need to order for Valentine's creations. So as it's presented, this card looks very pretty. Happy Valentine's Day. It has a secret message. So when I pull up slightly, look at how it opens. Just wanted to say, I love that we are friends. Super cute construction, very easy to do actually, and that's what we're going to be focusing on today is the Sliding Easel, a hidden message fun fold. Oh, thank you, Marcia. She's telling me the punch will not be available until March or April. So the good news is that you can actually hand snip. It won't be too difficult to hand snip those hearts. As I said, it's a super nice set for any time of the year, not just Valentine's Day. I am going to share with you also the pattern paper that I'm using is a free item. It's a celebration paper, and I have the book marked right here. It is the Dandy Designs DSP paper, which is an amazing pack of paper, 48 sheets. And the cool thing is you get 4 each of the 12 designs. So Marcia tells me she knows because, and your message got cut off. Let's see if I can follow up with that. So as I said, I was going to check the availability before I hopped on here with you, and then I got sidetracked and didn't go into the demonstrator's site to check on that. So, oh, Marcia says she only knows from another demonstrator. Well, I know it's true because I remember skipping past that message earlier, or I think actually it was yesterday when I closed an order. I noticed it was in the unavailable, but I didn't check my dates. Barbara is saying she's glad she already got the punch, and I'm right there with you. We know things are going to go on back order and non-availability throughout the catalogs, and the holiday sets, the seasonal ones, you have to know they're going to be selling out. So my suggestion to you, I know, Marcia, it is sad because we start prepping for the holiday probably about a month before maybe, but take note, in March we have St. Patrick's Day that's coming up, and there's a very nice bundle this year with a cloverleaf punch that was unavailable for a short period of time, but last I checked, that was back in stock. It does have a coordinating stamp set, so if you're thinking of making St. Patrick's Day cards, now's the time to place your order for that. And then also, we've got coming up Easter, and there's a very fun Easter bundle with a bunny punch. So hop on those things before they are not available if you want to be making them for this year's holiday. So having said that, let's skip on to the project here. This is a Happy Valentine's Day card, perfect for a girlfriend. I just wanted to say I love that we are friends. I'm going to show you how to make this fun fold sliding easel card with a hidden message. And again, if you would like the kit, all you need to do is place a $35 order. I will send you the kits and the tutorial. If you're local to me, I invite you to join me in studio on the 28th at 1 o'clock. We'll be making two of the easels that I'm presenting today. All right, so let's keep moving, and I am going to start. I've already shared the stamp set with you. Let me share with you the colors that I'm using. So I've got Granny Apple Green, Gorgeous Grape, Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Polished Pink. So those are the colors that I've picked. They are not the colors that are coordinating with the paper that's in the catalog, the mini catalog. Let me share with you that. You can see in the catalog, they have done more of a Valentine's Day presentation with the pretty reds and pinks, but I'm going with a different color scheme. There's the rest of the samples for the Country Bouquet. We're going to have another look, and we're going to revisit that paper for the next project. So for this one, here's what you need. Let me grab everything. So we are definitely going to need our stamping trimmer. We're going to need our bone folder. Those are going to be the essential tools today. We are using Fresh Freesia card stock as our base. I'm going to slip everything out and give you the measurements. All right, so the card base itself is basic white, and it measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a Fresh Freesia layer that measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I have another basic white. Now the first one was the thick cardstock. This is the regular cardstock, and it measures 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. I have a sheet of DSP. This is the Dandy Designs. It measures, let's see, 3 1/2. I don't want to steer you wrong. It measures 3 by 4 1/8. I have one of the Stylish Shapes squares. I think this is the second size down. And I've got some basic white for stamping and punching. So those are the supplies I'm using. Let's get started on the cutting and scoring for the card base. I'm going to get back my colored cardstock, which happens to be Fresh Freesia. Let's see if I can move this over just a little bit. And bring my reference card in so you can see what we're shooting for. Take some of my tools aside. I must say that today's happy hour drink is absolutely delicious. I could get addicted to it. Okay, so let's go on. I have some helpful reminders here for me on what my measurements are for this cut. and it is a little bit detailed. So the first thing we're going to do is put it on the vertical orientation, and I have little notes here for me. I'm going to want to come down 5/8 of an inch and in 1/2 an inch. So what that means to me, I'm going to take my right hand edge, bring it over to the 1/2 inch mark here, place it right down on the trimmer, and I'm going to be cutting. So I'm going to slide my cutting blade up, and I want to start at 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to come down into 5/8 of an inch, and I've got my ruler on the side here to help me out. I'm going to place the blade not at 1/2 an inch, but 1/8 down. So that's 5/8. I'm going to pop that down, and I can see on the cutting blade the little indentation where that's the actual point of the blade. That's what I'm going to put down onto my cardstock. And I am going to be cutting all the way down to 4 5/8 at the bottom. So I'm going to slide the blade down. I'm going to stop. What it amounts to is 5/8 of an inch from the base, which would happen to be 4 5/8. This cardstock measures 5 1/4. So I'm going to bring the blade down and drag it down. And remember, I want to stop at 4 5/8. So I'm going to pay close attention there and stop. And I'm just going to see if I have a helper here. Let's see. I am going to grab my second lamp. Because I need all the help I can use in getting that blade in the right spot. So what I've got is this cool little lamp I place at each stamper's spot, and I'm going to be adding it here. You might see it, maybe not, in view. So I've come down to 4 5/8. Make sure. Now what I'm going to do is turn it over. So in essence, I'm going to flip it over so I have the left edge over at this 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to repeat what I just did. So starting where I left off, because now the blade is 5/8 of an inch from the base of the cardstock. Well, it slid up just a tiny bit. Let me bring it back in view there. And so what I'm doing, I'm looking at my blade. The marking right here is pointing to 4 5/8. I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to stop at 5/8 of an inch. All right. And so I've got 2 slits vertical coming down. They're 1/2 an inch in, 5/8 of an inch from the top and bottom edges. Hello, Debbie. We have been discussing that nice punch that coordinates with the country bouquet, and Marcia kindly let me know right now it is unorderable, which is a shame if you were hoping to make Valentine's Day projects with it. All right, so now I'm going to use my scoring blade and cutting blade. I'm going to start with my scoring blade, and I'm going to rotate my card base, and I am going to score between the 2 cuts. So remember, this is 5/8 inch down, so I can put it on my trimmer right at 5/8. That's going to help me out. I want my scoring blade for the top, so I'm going to start it right at the cut and end at the cut. And I'm pressing so that I know I have a good score in there. And you can kind of see right in here. Now I'm going to rotate, and this time I'm going to cut at the base. And again, this is 5/8 of an inch from the bottom, so I'm going to bring it into 5/8. This time I'm cutting, so I'm going to bring back in the cutting blade and start right up here, 1/2 an inch, and end it at 1/2 an inch. And I'm going to scoot it up just a tiny bit to make sure it's cut all the way through. All right, so here we go. I'm going to just pop that through and pop this through. And I can see my blade is a little bit dull. There's a little ragged edge. So what I like to do is bring in my sanding block. If you have a block, perfect. If you don't, you could use a nail file for this. And that's just because my blade probably could use replacing. All right, so there's that. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm not done with the paper trimmer yet, but I'm going to set it aside for just a minute. And I'm going to do a little bit of the decorating. I'm going to bring in that DSP layer. You can see I've got the flap covered with DSP. This measures 3 inches by 4 1/8, so it's going to go right on the flap there. And to help myself out, I am going to bring up the fold. This just helps me see the score in the fold, and I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder to push that down. And that's helpful because this is where my DSP is going to start. I'm going to bring in my Tombow liquid glue. Let's see if this is a working bottle. And I'm going to add liquid glue. You could use Seal or Seal Plus. You do want it flat. You want flat adhesive here. And I'm going to bring it down at the bottom all the way. I am covering the flap. I have seen several examples where the flap is instead decorated with stamping. And if you do opt to take advantage of the tutorial, you will see several examples with stamping instead of designer series paper. So I'm going to bring this down to the base of the flap. And I'm going to go ahead and just adhere that in place. And I'm going to burnish that down. Make sure this is what I love about the liquid glue. It allows me to shift the paper if I need to. I'm going to burnish it down. All right, and let's finish with the base construction. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that up and burnish. This is going to be the flap to help us out with the hidden message. So now I'm going to bring back in my, oops, it was a little bit long. It's going to work though. I'm going to bring back in my paper trimmer. I need to do a little bit more scoring. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it over. And I know the way this is going to work is the flap needs a score at 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to bring the flap in to 3/8 of an inch, which is right there. And I've abutted it to the top, so I know it's going to be straight. And I'm going to go ahead and score that flap at 3/8 of an inch from the base. So I'm going to lift it and I can see the score line there. Now I'm not finished yet. I also want to score it midway, so that would be at 2 inches. I'm going to bring that back, push this up so I can see my flap at 2 inches here, which will be right in here. And again, I've got it aligned to the top, so I know it's straight. And I'm going to score. And I'm putting a lot of pressure on it because I'm going through a layer of cardstock and a layer of DSP. All right, now I'm done with the trimmer. And by the way, I'm hoping to repeat for the second example. So if you didn't follow along with me on this one, you're going to have a second chance. Now I'm going to burnish on the score lines. The first one's going to be a valley fold. So I'm going to bring that up, burnish it down using my bone folder. And then the second one in the middle is going to be a mountain fold. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that and then burnish it down. There we go. And there is the construction for the base. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply some adhesive. By the way, if you're not following me, post your questions so I can clarify. And I am going to be using my strong adhesive, so I'm going to bring in my tear and tape. And I've got a little tool to help me out here. Now I want to put tear and tape on that 3/8 of an inch fold. I'm going to come right in here, burnish that down, and I'm going to go ahead and tear that. Perfect. Next step, I want to make a little semicircle here. So I'm going to use a 1-inch punch, and my 1-inch punch, of course, is retired. So if you don't have a 1-inch punch, you could use the smallest circle on Stylish Shapes. We just want to come in halfway. So I made a little mark where midpoint is on this, and I'm going in about maybe 3/8 of an inch and making a little half circle there. So I've got that taken care of. The next thing I'm going to do in addition is bring in my basic white. This measures, let's see, 3.5 by 4 1/4. So let me double check so I'm not messing up the measurements. 3.5 by 4 1/4. And I have a little mark midway. What I'm going to do is use a handheld punch. Mine is Stampin' Up, but you could use any. I think it's about a 1/8 of an inch hole. I'm going to bring that in, punch a little hole, right like so. So I've got a hole right in the middle, and there's a couple of things I want to do now. All right, so I'm going to use some twine, and I am using the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. I'm going to pull the white. I'm going to take a little tool that came from the bathroom, and let's see, I'm going to want about 9 inches of the twine. So let me measure that out. So there's 7 and 2 more. And because I'm making a second card today, I'm going to go ahead and cut my second piece now. And hopefully I can put it aside without losing it for when I need it, right? And I laugh because it's totally something that happens to me often. All right, so let's see if I can put my twine away. I'm going to take my tool. So what this is for healthy gums, the floss. It's the Easy Through Floss. So it's really helpful. Little tiny loop. That's going to help me feed my twine through that tiny hole. So the first thing is I'm going to fold this down in half. I know. That's the, Debbie says it happens to all of us. Yes, it absolutely. That's how my crafting goes. If half my time is spent looking for one of my supply items, which is usually right in front of me, sometimes even in my hand. Okay, so I'm using the loop, that Easy Through, and I'm bringing this through. It's kind of like a needle eye. You're going to pull it through, and I'm going to use that loop to loop my ends through, and voila, much easier than trying to get that through that tiny hole. So I'm going to put this away before I lose it, right? Okay, so this is ready to go, and my card base is ready to go. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this over. Remember, I applied the tear and tape to the back. I'm going to go ahead and reveal that tear and tape. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool, peel that off. And the front, I'm going to put face down, and I'm going to attach this to the base of the flap, centering it. So I'm kind of checking to make sure I've got equal borders on both sides, and then I'm going to bring it right down to the base of that flap. And you can see where it lines up. So it's 5/8 of an inch up. Now I'm going to apply more adhesive. This time I'm going to use my foam adhesive strips. So I have a big supply of these. All right, I'm going to take a strip and I'm going to put one at the base. Well, this is a longer strip. I'm going to put it down the side, starting around where the white paper is. It just goes around the edge, and perfect. That's a good size. Goes right there. I want to put it on 3 sides, so I'm going to grab another adhesive strip, and this goes on the opposite side. Take paper snips and trim that down. And then I need one at the bottom as well. Yes, Marcia, that threading is so much easier with one of these easy through tools. I used to have an abundance of those tools when my children had their braces. That's the reason we had so many. And luckily I held on to several of them. But my supply is getting low. I haven't checked to make sure that they're still selling them. They're usually in the toothbrush aisle, so you can get those to help you out with your crafting. Yay. All right, so here we go. We're almost done with the card base. Let's do a little bit of stamping. This is going to go right through here. So up at the top, I'm going to have my first hidden message up here. So let me grab my stamp. You can see I put just wanted to say. So I'm going to bring in my darkest ink, which happens to be the Gorgeous Grape. I need my stamp. And let's see, I have another stamp mounted on that. Let me peel that off. So this is on an H block. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat because this is a photopolymer stamp set, and I'm going to ink up my sentiment. And let's see, oh, that's the wrong sentiment there. All right, better. So let's go do this. Just wanted to say, and I'm going to ink up in Gorgeous Grape. I'm going to pull my hidden message layer open, and I'm going to put that mostly at the top here, just below the twine. Stamp down. So there's my first part of my message. And next I'm going to bring in my actual card base since I'm stamping. This is the thick cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This layer is going to go here. And let's see if I'm ready. If I could actually go ahead. Nope, I don't think I want to do that. I don't want it here yet. I'm going to stamp. I'm going to bring in my second sentiment for the hidden message on the inside. I'm going to bring that in. And this says, I love that we are friends. And I'm going to bring this in, still in Gorgeous Grape. And this is going to come in about 1 inch from the base. And you'll see if it comes in here, and I push that up, I'm going to want it about 1 inch from the base and about 1/2 inch in from the right. So here we go. Right around there. I love that we are friends. All right, next I am going to stamp. This time I'm going to use my Fresh Freesia or Highland Heather. Let's see, I'm going to use my Fresh Freesia, and I'm going to put a few of the little hearts that come in this set. There's solid hearts and outline hearts, and they're just kind of going to glide up that panel. They're random stamping, so it doesn't, no rhyme or reason where you're placing them. And then I'm going to turn that over, and then I have the outline hearts, the hollow hearts. Just to add a few more, and you're only going to see part of this layer, so you don't need a lot. There we go. All right, so now I think I can go ahead and attach that. I'm going to leave my ink pad there, And remember, this base already has the adhesive. So the stamp set that I'm featuring today on this card is called Country Bouquet. It is in the Valentine's Day section, but you can use it year round. It happens to have Happy Valentine's Day, but as I said, these are my two favorite greetings on this set. Just wanted to say, I love that we are friends. That one's going to be used a lot. There are the pretty hearts that coordinate with the punch that's currently unavailable. And there's a beautiful heart with flowers. It's a two-step floral heart. And then a couple of branches and little posies there. This is the one that coordinates with the punch. All right, so I am using it today for a Valentine's Day card, but you could, again, use it anytime. All right, so now I'm going to reveal the sticky on my foam adhesive, and I'm going to attach the card base. Thank you, Marcia. I'm glad you like it. I like the fresh freesia. I'm really liking the purples lately. And I'm going to flip this over, and the way I tell, this is going to be centered on the basic white, so I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch on the bottom, 1/8 of an inch on the left, and 1/8 of an inch on the right. And we're going to stick that down all the way up, right like so. All right, there is the card base. When you pull up, I love that we are friends. I just wanted to say I love that we are friends. So now let's decorate. So I'm going to put this aside. Whoops, it almost landed in ink. And I've got a stitched heart from the Stylish Shapes. This is the second size down. I'm going to ink up a little bit with the branches. You're going to see how it looks like it's a spray of hearts with some of the little leaf branches behind, and those are stamped in Granny Apple Green. It's the first thing I'm going to stamp. And again, the little leaf. Oops. And that was the stamps on the ground. The photopolymer are very sticky, and I think there was one facing down, which is why they fell to the ground, but they're fine. They're going to be fine. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping with the branches, and I can do second generation inkings and also down. And again, this is random, so no rhyme or reason where I'm placing the branches. I just want them peeking out behind the hearts. And let's see. You will see right now it looks like a hot mess, right? That's not very pretty, but it's going to get better, trust me. All right, let me grab my stamps. And let's see. I am going to also stamp my Happy Valentines, which is right here, and I'm going to stamp that on my 1-inch strip. This is just a scrap. This is honestly, this is the scrap I cut off when I'm creating my second layer for cards. The 4 by 5 1/4 eighth layers. I always have a 1/2-inch strip, so that's what I'm using. I have just a huge supply, and I'm looking for my Highland, for my Gorgeous Grape ink. Can't have gone too far unless it landed on the floor. Here it is. Okay, and I just want the strongest color for the sentiments. It's going to ink up. And this goes right on the 1/2-inch strip. There we go. So that's taken care of. I'm going to go ahead and do my other stamping. I'm going to bring in that heart, and you can see there's the large heart and the small heart. We can go ahead and stamp them both. We're going to be able to punch them both at the same time. So let's start with, I don't need Gorgeous Grape, I need fresh freesia. And I have scraps. And let's see. And I am stamping off because I don't want it to be too bold. So there's one heart. I need to wipe using my chamois because I'm going to dip it in another color of ink. So what do you think of the color combo? I'm using Fresh Freesia, Highland Heather, and Polished Pink. What do you think? I've got a second color, which is going to be the Polished Pink ink. I'm going to bring that in. And again, I'm going to be stamping off. I just don't want it to be too vibrant. There we go. And I'm going to do one more. So using the chamois again. And this time I'm using the Highland Heather. And this is going to be the full force. Barbara says she likes the color scheme. So good. I'm glad you like it. This one's going to be full force. It's going to be my pop of color. It's going to be at the front. Focal point. There we go. And let's see. I think we're ready. Put some of these ink pads away before I get inky. It's always better to close them up because otherwise my fist and my elbows get inked up. All right, now you're going to see how easy these are to punch using that beautiful heart punch. Currently unavailable. Sorry about that, friends. I'm going to just insert from the top and look at how nicely it aligns there. So I can do both those hearts at the same time. If I wanted to, I could do the little leaves to create flowers. But we're not creating flowers today. We're just going to do the hearts in 3 colors. Right, like so. And the stamp set is kind of like a distinctive stamp. You can see different tones going in. So it's not going to be overall inked. There are lighter bits in there. The stamp is designed that way, so don't worry that you're not stamping right. All right, there's our last punch. We're going to be on the road, finishing up the first card. I'm going to bring in, let's drop that down. Bring in my focal point, and I'm going to start. Oh, I did want to add a couple of little hearts here. So let's see. Oops, I think it's, I see. I am going to stamp without my piercing mat. I hope it works out. So I'm stamping a couple of hearts here. And let's see, I think I want the hollow ones over here. There we go. All right, so then let me get rid of that ink pad. I do love the punch too. I like the whimsical shape of the heart, and I love that it has the baby heart right along with it. So the first layer of hearts, I'm going to go with the polished pink on the end. And even though it's not on a dimensional, I want to give it a little bit of height. So I'm going to adhere it with glue dots. The glue dots have just the tiniest bit of dimension. Let's see. And the first one's going to kind of hang off right in here. And then we'll have a good time at Bunko Party. That sounds like fun. Enjoy. All right. You can always catch the replay if you have to leave early. You can catch it here on Facebook, or you can click over to YouTube, just Stamp with Anna Marie. I'll have both the videos at play. All right, so then I'm going to bring this over, and this one's going to hang off at the right. And let's see, I did not put any adhesive on the part of the heart that's hanging off of the square. All right, so then I'm going to add my Highland Heather. This one's going to go on with dimensionals, and I'm going to use minis up at the top, bottom. I like to go for the minis. They tuck in a little bit easier. And this one's going to go right in the center, a slight angle. And then we're going to add our mini hearts. So I'm overlapping. I'm trying not to put the same color mini heart on top. So this one's going to come over here. My pink will overlap the heather. And that goes right in here. And then the Highland Heather is going to go over the freesia. I know Barb says that Bunko is fun and she's making new friends. I love that. Barb recently, well, it's already been a year, relocated to Texas, and it's been a joy to watch her put down roots in a whole new area of our country. So cool. All right, so what do you think? That's my focal point. I'm going to bring in my card base. And because part of this is not going to be adhered flat, I'm only going to apply adhesive on the lower half of the rectangle, or sorry, the square actually. And I'm using my liquid glue. If you are one of those that struggles with a messy, sticky situation with liquid glue, don't use it. Use your seal. The key for me is to not use a lot, to avoid going right up to the edge. And otherwise it works out well for me. I know it doesn't for everyone. And I'm just going to snip this little banner down and create my dovetail edges. I just go up the center and then curve it over. So up the center and then go side to side to the center. And this is going to be adhered with dimensionals. 1 and, whoops, 2. I've got too many dimensionals. And this is going to go right at the base. Happy Valentine's Day. It's easier if it's flat. Right there. All right. So there is the first Sliding Easel Hidden Message Valentine's Day card using Country Bouquet. So here's our message. I just wanted to say I love that we are friends. And then you've got the Happy Valentine's Day cards. So pretty colors with the pinks and the purples, and I love the way it slides. And then it will fold flat, so it is definitely a mailable card, and I think it should go through with standard postage. So there's the first card for the first design. Now in the tutorial, the Fun Fold Fanatics tutorial, you will get 12 different suggestions on this Fun Fold. My next one, let me get some of these things out of the way. Let me take a sip of my yummy drink. Try to tidy up before I move on. All right, card number 2 is going to feature the Share a Milkshake bundle, and this has coordinating dies we will be using, and on this one I'm actually going to be die cutting, so this one might take a little bit longer. And I said at this start, it was apropos we were working with Share a Milkshake because I just happened to have a Bananas Foster's adult milkshake today. And it is absolutely delicious. All right, so this is the bundle I'm using. And again, this time I am using more traditional Valentine's Day colors. I'm gonna push this aside for just a second. And here's my card. It says, "Life is sweet. Your hidden message is for your Valentine. You're the cherry on top." So that's how I constructed this Valentine's Day card using the Share a Milkshake bundle. And I'm going to go through the fun fold creation as well as decorating on this one. It's so cute. I love it. I love this design. It just makes me happy opening and closing it. So there's my second example, and I'm going to walk you through creating the fun fold one more time. So if you didn't understand on the first round, maybe repeating it, it'll sink through and you'll see how easy this is. So I am starting with my supplies here. And again, I'm using a thick basic white card base, measuring 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. My second layer is the Sweet Sorbet. This one measures 4 inches by 5 1/4. I still have my basic white regular cardstock. This one measures 3 1/2 by 4 1/4. Thank you, Marcia. I appreciate that. I can't decide which one I like better. I like the colors on the Country Bouquet, but I also like the whole theme of the Life is Sweet. So on this one, I am using the Valentine's Day paper, which coordinates with the Country Bouquet. This is what's on the flip side, and look at that heart with the leaves and the mini heart. That's what makes this paper awesome for this punch, because you can punch out your pieces to create your heart and your flowers. And I'd have to trim off a little bit at the bottom to get that into the punch a little bit more, but so easy. Marcia says she can't choose either. And I love the retro look with the pink and red stripes here. So we're gonna use also an oval. I have pre-cut this from Basic White. This comes from the Fitting Florets bundle. I love the dies on that bundle because we've got our different sizes of ovals and different designs of ovals. I also need my 1/2 inch strip of Basic White for my sentiment. And I need some scrap for stamping. So let's try this one again. We're gonna start off creating the card base. And let's see if I can do it a little bit faster this time. And I don't have to give as much direction, I think. So let's start with the Sweet Sorbet. I'm gonna bring back in my trimmer. And we're gonna do our cutting and scoring. This is a repeat. And I'm gonna start by pushing in 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna cut from 5/8 of an inch down to 5/8 of an inch up. I need my cutting blade, and I just know now I need to start at 4 5/8 at the base, and I'm gonna cut all the way up to 5/8. So let's see, right in there. Then I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to flip and do the other side. Same points, so 5/8 of an inch from the bottom, and I'm going to go up to 5/8 of an inch to the top. And sorry if I have my hands in the way, I'm trying to get in there. Okay, now I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to flip it over, rotate, and I'm going to score at the top, and that's going to be like around right in there. And this time I need my scoring blade. I'm just going to start at 1/2 inch and score down to the cut line. And This time I'm going to rotate 80 degrees, and this time I'm going to cut between the two cut lines, and it's going to be at 5/8 of an inch. That's where I stopped. Starting at 1/2 inch and going all the way up to 1/2 inch. Right? And let's see, it looks like, uh-oh, I cut a little bit off. I'm at the wrong edge here. I better get another one. Let's see if I can. I think I'm going to need another one because I've cut at 1/2 inch and I need to have it 5/8. So, whoops, let me start over. And luckily I didn't get far. I just need a piece that's 5 1/4 by 4. There we go. I was worried about getting in there and not letting you see. So let's try it again. Let's push over to 1/2 inch, and we're gonna cut starting at 5/8 and drag it down to just 5/8 from the bottom. There we go. Flip it, bringing it over to 1/2 inch. And again, starting at 5/8. Just a little bit more right there. And ending at 5/8 from the bottom. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to push in. It needs to come up to 5/8 of an inch up at the top. And I need my scoring blade at the top between the two cut lines. And then at the bottom, I cut. And this one needs to go in 5/8 of an inch. That's better. And I need my cutting blade cut between the two 1/2 inch cuts. There we go. Better. All right, there we go. I will need to score once I add my pattern paper, and again, because I haven't changed my blade since the last time I did this, let me sand the edge down. Just like so. And I also want to do my frame. Eliminate all those little flyaway fibers. I did clean my track, so I know that I probably need new blades. All right, so now I'm on the right side of my card base. I'm going to bring in my DSP, that striped petal pink and sweet sorbet, and I'm going to attach that to the flap. So this is definitely a little bit more stepped up card. It's not something you can crank out multiples in a short amount of time. So you probably wouldn't want to mass produce these. But having said that, this makes for a really special card. All right, and I'm just making sure that I've got that all in place, and I'm going to take my bone folder and burnish that down. And then I'm also going to, oops, I've got a little bit of liquid glue in there. Let me get my rubber eraser. And this is going to go up at the score line. And now I need to score the flap. And let's see, I don't want to cut, I want to score. And it needs to be scored at 3/8 of an inch. So right in there, and I've got this against the guide, and I'm going to score down, applying lots of pressure. We're going through 2 layers of paper. I'm going to push this up, and this is going to end at 2 inches. So I've got my frame, the outside right here at 2 inches, and score that down. Again, applying pressure, you're going through a lot of layers of paper. And I've got a mountain fold in the center. And this is where I can correct it if it's a little askew. And then a valley fold at the foot. Now I'm going to close that up. And this one needs the tear and tape at the base. Let's see if I can adjust that. So I'm going to put tear and tape right on that 1/2 inch or 3/8 of an inch tab. There we go. And then I'm going to take the, let's see, what I need is my foam adhesive. All right, there we go. And I am going to take a strip and put it right down the sides here. Oh, I haven't attached. See, it's a good thing I was thinking this through. I haven't attached yet my basic white. I need the hole punch. And I'm going to push in about 1/2 inch. I'm going to go right in the center. There. I'm also going to do my 1/2 inch circle using my circle punch at the top of the card. I'm just going to bring it in, centering, and bring it down. There we go. All right, I was getting ahead of myself. Now I need to weave my tassel through. So I've got 9 inches of twine. I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to fold over again. And I'm going to use my tool to thread this through. And then pull through and create the tassel. So I've got my loop. I'm just going to bring the other layers through. There we go. Now, let me go and adhere this to the back of the card front. I'm going to take off that sticky tape, the tear and tape, sorry. And I want the front of the card. So I just know when I have the loop there, that's the front as opposed to this end. I guess it's a matter of preference. That just happens to be the way I like. So since this is the front, I've got the front face down as well. I'm going to center this in the frame and then bring it down to the base of that flap. And it's going to be secured down with that tear and tape. Now I'm ready to add my foam adhesive, and I'm going to add it down each side and trim it. And then let's see if I have enough for the other side. Just like so. I'm going to put some at the base. All right. So, and I have to confess, the first time I saw the milkshake bundle, I wasn't convinced. And after creating cards with it, it is my upcoming birthday card class in February. So I've been making birthday cards with it as well. I love it. I think it's super cute. It's a nice theme set, and it's perfect for men or women. You're going to see. All right, so I've got that going on. There's my card front. And I think, let's see, let's go ahead and stamp it before I adhere it. So on this one, when I reveal the hidden message, it says, Valentine, you're the cherry on top. So I need to stamp out Valentine, and I'm doing a little bit of cheating because I'm using partial sentiments. this one actually says, "Be my Valentine." I just want this part of the sentiment. So here's what I did. I took the stamp that says, "Be my Valentine." This is inked up in Early Espresso, so let me bring in that. And I'm going to need, let me try and clean up here. I'm going to need my piercing mat because I'm stamping with photopolymer. There's my stamp. And what I want to do is just ink up Valentine. And the way I did that, I love the photopolymer stamps because you can see right through. I'm just going to ink that up, just like so. I'm trying to be careful to get the letter tops. When I turn over, I think I did a pretty good job there. Now I need to ink up my hidden message just below that twine, just like so. I'm going to press down nicely. There we go. I did get a partial print. I'm okay with that. I can always do something with that. Let me get rid of that stamp. And at the base, which is the second layer, the card base, that's where I'm going to stamp "You're the cherry on top." So let's go ahead and do that. And I just centered it about an inch from the base. So let me bring in that stamp. Also in Early Espresso. And it's just about an inch from the base. And not sure if you can see there. All right, then I'm going to decorate with the little cherry. So I'm going to bring in the Sweet Sorbet ink pad and share with you how I inked up for this. So I'm going to want the cherry Sweet Sorbet and the stem in Early Espresso. So I'm just going to ink up the little cherry here, right on the corner of the ink pad. Bring the stem over to the Early Espresso. And I'm going to put it right. Let's see what the directionality was. Just at an angle, right in that little spot. Pressing down. There we go. So pretty easy. I like it when I can just use the ink pad as opposed to having to take out the markers. And since I have that out, let me do this. I'm going to go ahead and see. You say I've got my sentiment that says "Life is sweet." Thank you, Debbie. Debbie says, "Good job." Life is sweet. And look, the sentiment says "Life is sweeter with you." So I'm going to chop it off of there and just use "Life is sweet." And I'm going to do the same way. I'm just going to come in here at the lower portion of my ink pad. And I'm going to press down here. Now, if you pick up extra ink, you have options. You can either wipe it clean, you can cover it with a little Post-it note. I'm pretty confident I'm okay with how it's going to stamp up. And let's face it, this is the tiniest little scrap. If I mess up, there's always another ½ inch scrap someplace, so no big deal. And there you go. How easy was that? All right, so that's inked up, and I'm going to go ahead and trim, whoops, ribbon scissors, no. And I better get those out of the way. I am looking for my paper snips. Maybe they'll show in just a minute. Let me get that out of the way. I am ready to adhere my card front to the card base. I just need to reveal the sticky on the foam adhesive. right through here. So the Sliding Easel hidden message card, it's a little bit time consuming. It takes a little bit of time, but the results are really fun. I mean, I enjoy sliding the card open and reading the message and watching the mechanics work. So it's pretty fun. I'm going to come in with an 1/8 of an inch border on the 3 sides here, just like so. And I think, here we are, we're almost ready to decorate. There we go. Valentine, you're the cherry on top. And the Life is Sweet is going to go on my focal point art, so I'm going to put that aside. We need to do some stamping and some die cutting. So let's bring in, I'm going to put my oval up here. Let's bring in my cardstock for stamping. And I do need my piercing mat. Let's see, how far did I push that? Right up here. And get my stamps together. So the first thing I need is that yummy glass of ice cream. Here's how I created mine. I am stamping in Sahara Sand. That's my version of vanilla. And I find it easiest, let's see if I can get in here a little bit better. I find it easiest to first stamp the detail stamp. And that's going to be 100% ink, first generation. I'm going to ink up that tall glass. And I'm going to stamp down and pressing firmly. And there's part of the shake. Now I'm going to get that second stamp in the 2-step stamping, the overall glass. And this one's going to be second generation. So I'm going to ink up, stamp down, and then stamp right over top of the detail. It's pretty easy to do once you've got that detail stamp in there. All right, so there's my milkshake, the base. I'm going to bring in, let's see, 1 scoop of vanilla ice cream, and I'm going to create the vanilla ice cream the same way. So I'm going to ink up in Sahara Sand, stamp down, and stamp my ice cream. Then I'm going to clean my stamp. So I'm using my chamois in here. And let's see, I am done with my Sahara Sand. I'm going to go ahead and close that up. I also want a chocolate scoop. So I'm going to ink up in Early Espresso. And do my second scoop. And go ahead and clean that. I'm going to need a 3rd scoop. This is a tall shake. And the last flavor is going to be like a strawberry. So I'm using my Sweet Sorbet, if I can find it, right at my left hand. And so I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. And I'm going to stamp. Now, sometimes I do like to die cut these pieces first, and then I can stamp right on top because you can see right through. But these dies have a little slit in them, and if you do your cutting first, it's going to show up when you ink down. So I recommend doing the stamp and then cut on this particular one. Let's see, I also need a cherry again, and I'm going to do it the same way. Oops, I closed up my Early Espresso. So once again, I'm going to dip the cherry in ink and the stem in Early Espresso. And I'm going to stamp down. Oh, I'm going to try that again. I don't like that. So let me get a full cherry. There. And ink. And we'll try it again. I'm not pressing down right. It's like somebody took a bite out of the cherry. Third try. Third time is the charm, right? All right, here we go. And let's see if I can press down firmly to get all of it this time. Much better. Okay, so then I also want, let's see about my cherry. I need a spoon. And so the spoon is going to be in Smoky Slate. I'm going to use that there. There's a cute little spoon stamp and the spoon die cut, so no fussy cutting needed. And let's see if I can slip that right in here. Perfect. All right, and let's see, I'm going to do one last stamping. I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to put some hearts off to the side in Sweet Sorbet. About there. Right, like so. All right, there's on our oval, which I pre-cut from the Fitting Florets. Hello, Susan. So glad you could join. We are making a really fun fold. It's called a sliding easel with a hidden message, and it is super cute, super fun. And I'm going to be showing you 3 versions. I've shown you one with the country bouquet. We're now working on Share a Milkshake, and then the final one I'm just going to be sharing with you the finished cards. So if you came in the middle, you can always catch the replay on Facebook or hop over to Just Stamp with Anna Marie on YouTube and see from start to finish. I like YouTube because you can skip over, repeat, do all that you might need to do. All right, so let's see. We need to die cut. And the Share a Milkshake has the coordinating dies. There are little bits, so be careful not to misplace anything. I'm going to need the tall glass. I need that little dollop of whipped cream. I need the scoop of ice cream, which could also be whipped cream. The spoon. Let's see, what else do I need? The cherry. And I think that's it. Let's give it a go. All right, so I am using my boho mini machine. If you haven't heard yet, you can get this nice little mini cut and emboss machine in the beautiful boho color. When you purchase the starter kit during celebration, it's $129. I'm going to tell you, it is the best deal. You're going to get a whole bunch of stuff for $129, including $175 worth of your choice of product. So no brainer. And plus you get the mini, which has a value of $63. So, and you pay no shipping on the starter kit. All right, because I'm going to try to do a lot of cutting in one pass, I'm going to be using some tape, and today I'm using my Post-it tape. This came from the classroom. When I was teaching first grade, I was using this tape. We call it boo-boo tape because anytime I was doing a large chart and I made a mistake, I could cover it up with the boo-boo tape really easily. It is low tack, so it works awesome for the dies. And I want to go ahead and add just a little tiny bit to keep the dies in place since I'm trying to gang cut them. And I'm using little tiny pieces of the Post-it tape. And so with the cherry, you should be able to see the stem at the top of the die and then obviously the fruit at the bottom there. And I think I can do my spoon. Look at this. Oh, if it weren't for the ice cream, I could do it all in one pass. But I want that 3 scoops in my shake there. And then I'm going to do my dollop of whipped cream. No stamping, just a die. And let's see. And a layer on top. So I'm using the plate number 3, plate number 2, and then add my paper and die and sandwich it between another tape. Thank you, Susan. I think the projects are pretty cute. They are perfect for Valentine's Day or Galentines Day. And the first one that I made is a perfect Valentine's Day card to send to a girlfriend. This second one could be for your Valentine. And if you missed, I am also sharing my yummy Banana Foster adult milkshake today during happy hour. So my mixologist came through this week for happy hour, genuine happy hour. Here we go. Almost done. Wow, a lot of dies. Hopefully I don't lose any before I use them. Okay, and then I need to do a couple more scoops of my ice cream. And I'm going to share with you why I didn't die cut these in just a second. I wish I had kept the example to show you. You're going to see. All right, so just 2 more passes through the machine. And right in there. When you're only doing one, it's not as critical to use that tape. Put these aside. Oh, and look what happened. It shifted. I should have. All right. So on this one, no, I can't do that. Oh no, and it shifted my red as well. So let's go back and stamp again. Yikes. Goof. Okay, let's try it again. And I'm going to do my, let's see, I need the sweet sorbet. Never happens to you, right? Second time, second attempt. Let's go right here. So I have my sweet sorbet ice cream. Let me clean the stamp. By the way, you could totally just die cut these as well. They would be really cute, just die cut. I like the extra detail with the inking. And here's my chocolate ice cream. Right there. All right, take 2. And I'm going to bring that in. And this time we better make it a little more secure and go ahead and put that tape on there. And I can only do one at a time because there's only one die. And, okay, better. I can already tell. There's my strawberry scoop. Let me do my chocolate scoop. Putting it right in position there. Holding it down. Hello, Sonia. Thank you so much for sharing the video. I appreciate it. That helps me expand my viewership. Always love to have more people watching. Okay, so, and I know a lot of times it's not convenient to watch the live. You might want to come back and catch the replay. That works just as well. All right, let's get going here. Bring in my oval, and the first thing I'm going to do, let me share with you. This ice cream scoop has a little slit. You can see it, and you could either slip your straw or you can slip the spoon in there. So it looks really cute, like you're scooping up the ice cream in the milkshake when you put your spoon right through that little slit. And that's what I'm saying. If you pre-die cut, you're not going to get ink around that slit area, and you can tell. I didn't like that, so I went with just taking the extra time during the live to die cut. All right, so I'm just going to place this right at the base of my oval, right like so. And I am going to use the mini glue dots, if I can grab them. I'm going to use mini glue dots to adhere my ice cream scoops. They give just a little bit of height, just enough to make it a little more dimensional. And this goes right onto the glass top. And I like to put it low, sort of, right in there. The next one is going to be popped up, let's see, with a dimensional, mini dimensional. And I'm going to use the dimensional to hold the spoon in place as well. And add that and that. Oh dear, I just noticed I lost my whipped cream. Let's see if I can find it. This one's going to cover that slit, so I want it to come at an angle. I need my, oh dear, that bothers me. Am I going to have to recut? Because I do need that dollop of whipped cream. All right, I'm going to be doing, that's funny. Oh, look what happened. Okay, so there's the die for the whipped cream. It didn't come out. So what I do for that, some of them will bounce out when you drop them, just like that. If they don't bounce out, you can always take your pick and push it through, just like so. All right, so I wanted that whipped cream because I am going to put my cherry behind the whipped cream. The layering just looks better that way. And so let's say I use a little glue dot to keep that in place. And I'm going to come in and put the whipped cream right over top of the cherry. This is going to be on my chocolate ice cream. So I'm going to use a little bit of adhesive in here to get that in position. And I'm going to kind of put it right in there. Looking super cute, I think. All right, and then I'm going to use a dimensional right here at the top and maybe way at the bottom and the opposite side as well. This is going to be adhered to the top layer right in here. Just like so. All right. What do you think? It's coming along cute, right? My next is my banner, and I'm going to do the same as I did on my previous card. Just like so. I'm going to go right up the middle and cut in this way. By the way, anyone who has placed a $50 order with me this month will get this month's tutorial, Funfold tutorial, and this happens to be the tutorial this month. It is the Sliding Easel hidden message. It will be emailed directly to you. So if you've already placed a $50 order with me, you will be receiving it in your inbox shortly. Okay, so there and here, and I'm going to bring that back, put that right in place here, just like so. And all that's left is to adhere the focal point art to the card base. Make some space in here, right in here. I don't need, this is going to be flat adhered. And again, part of this does not come down on the card base, so we do not want to put adhesive behind the upper portion here. So I'm going to do it pretty much at the lower third. I'm just going to attach this here, flatten that out, bring it right in and center it above that score line, right in here. Oops, you know what, I feel, there we go. There's something sticky back there. Yep. Okay, whoops, my sign is crooked. That's Kind of cute, kind of wonky. All right, so there we go. Nice. Life is sweet. Here's my card. Valentine, you're the cherry on top. And when it's closed down flat, life is sweet. This is a mailable card. And so the only thing left to do, this really has no embellishments other than the die cuts, but I do want to snip those edges off, create that little tassel there. So there's my Share a Milkshake Valentine's Day card. Here is my Happy Valentine's Day card. So glad we are friends, or I love that we are friends. Opening that up, won't stay. Want it to stay so you can see the word. And then I have a third, same design, and this is what you'll see on the tutorial if you receive the Fun Fold tutorial. It's your birthday. That is Birthday Piggy. Happy, happy birthday. Hope it's the best. This little piggy says happy birthday. So there's a third example with the Sliding Easel hidden message Fun Fold. All super cute cards, not that difficult to construct. Once you've done one, it's going to be a lot easier to create the scores and cuts and create your cards. All right, and once again, if you would like the kit and the Fun Fold tutorial, so the kit will be for the Life is Sweet and Happy Valentine's Day. Place a $35 order through Wednesday. Make sure you use this host code, and I will send you the kit and the tutorial. And having said that, coming up in February, it's the second Saturday of the month, I have my birthday card class. If you are local to me, you can come in person. These are the cards we're creating. Happy, happy birthday. You see it's part of the Share a Milkshake bundle. I have happy birthday and celebrate, and then there's one more card that I don't have on the shelf, so can't share that with you. If you are not local, you will have the opportunity to place your order and get the card class for free, just like you do when you come in person. It's $20 flat fee or free with a $35 order. And that that's the Fun Fold of the day. So we have our Fun Fold kit and tutorial offer for Life is Sweet, Share a Milkshake, and also the Country Bouquet. And what I wanted to share with you is the dies for the Birthday Piggy were on the clearance rack for quite some time. I was going to take the time to check and make sure that they were still there, because if you didn't get them, this is just the sweetest little stamp set, and the dies would be very helpful. So there you go, my friends. Today's fun project. I hope I kept you quite a while. I hope that you enjoyed these cards and that you will try the Fun Fold for yourself, and post any comments, share what you think of the cards. I appreciate you for joining, and always, thanks so much. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.